I'm Emily. I run Waste Not Whatnot. It's a zero waste shop over on the Wirral. Okay. I opened it in June. A little bit about me. I was born in London. I moved up to the Wirral when I was about 10, and I was homeless at 18. Fast forward 13 years, I decided to open a zero waste shop with no retail background, no money, no support. I just decided that that's what I wanted to do because I felt so strongly about the situation we're in with the plastic pollution, and people needed a platform to be able to have access to all these things that they see online, on the internet, on Facebook, and it's all very well saying go plastic free, but how do people do that? So I opened the shop. It sells food and non-food items. You can refill dried food goods, you can refill your washing up liquid. Most of the products I use are Wirral or Northwest based, so it's keeping everything local to keep them families in a business rather than outsourcing it to further afield out the country. Customers come in, they refill all kinds of products, they bring their own containers, they use the paper bags or the organic cotton bags that we have at the shop as well. I also have installed a water filtration system. So you might not know, but 83% of tap water contains plastic. 95% of plastic bottled water contains plastic. You're literally drinking plastic. Coroners are now saying when they go to embalm the bodies of obviously dead people that they don't need embalming hardly as much as they used to because we're just full of plastic. We are plastic. So I had the water filtration system fitted so that it's free for anyone to use, and you can come in. All I ask is a small donation to the local animal sanctuary, and people come in with like glass bottles. They come in with like 20, 25 of these bottles, fill them up, get a little trolley, take it back to the car and come back like a couple of days later, which it's totally fine. I want people to have access to clean drinking water. We think our drinking water is clean and fresh. Yeah, it hasn't got bacteria in it, isn't going to kill us, but it is going to have some long-term lasting effects. So I felt quite important that information needed to get out, because it's all very well saying that you can see on the surface how plastic affects us, but then there's like long-term effects which can, like the plastic packaging that our food comes in. Yeah, that's no good because it's a waste, and then we chuck it and it goes in landfill. But that plastic seeps into our food and we're eating it. So we need to make sure we've got access to food and water that isn't gonna kill us off, and then at the same time it's not harming the environment that we're in. Off the back of this, I do talks in schools and get involved with the children to make them understand how important it is and what the effects are. I employ homeless people as well, so I've got a girl called Laura working for me. She volunteers because she doesn't want the situation she's in. She can't really have paid work, so she has to volunteer. So she's really into zero waste, and she's her last volunteered role, she was only there 50% of the time. Here she's been there 100% of the time. She helps me out with the kids, the EcoBricks sessions and things like that. So that's another part of it, wanting to help people get back into work and give them an opportunity that other people may not want to. This brings me on to, so obviously you all know there's plastic pollution is a problem, but what can we do about it? So, has anyone heard of EcoBricks? Yeah, you all have, great. Okay, so, start off with an empty bottle. Bits of plastic, so things like this, even things like this that can't be recycled, packets, even if it's got paper on, because it's stuck to the plastic, there's no way of taking that off, so that would go in. So we need to clean it, wash it, dry it. The reason being, if it's dirty and goes into an EcoBrick, it'll explode. So we don't want to make a bench and then have some little kids sitting on it and it explodes. So that is the reason we need to do that. So when we come to fill it, it looks like this. We have to cut it up into small pieces, but as you can see, it's some little squishies. So that one isn't finished. And we have some ones that are finished here by the lovely, it's Avril has made 3 bricks I brought along today, and as you can see, they're solid, so you can actually build with them. So in the Philippines and Indonesia, they build houses, they build schools, they build things what are quite useful. Over here, we don't need all of that. So the reason I'm getting involved in EcoBricks is because it's quite difficult to try and explain to people how bad the situation is. It's like talking to a brick wall sometimes. So when they're sitting there washing this plastic and drying it, and it's all hanging about the house, they're looking at it, they're spending a lot of time with it, and they start to realise they might not need that certain product, they can cut back on certain things. So then that thought process that they're going through in that period is the most important bit, because people drop off plastic to me and drop off empty bottles, but they're just using me as a bin, so they're not going to get it, they're not going to understand. So it's that bit that's important. It's not, let's eat loads of crisps and shove them in that, it'll all be okay. We can't do that. It's that middle bit that's important, and then people cut back on it, then they start to understand why it's important and why we need to do it. It's just a bridge to get us from where we are now to where hopefully we can be. You can build things out of them. So the point is, you can build things like benches, herb gardens, things that are useful to local communities, get communities involved in it, school children, residential homes, people that run parks, things like that. Get them involved, get people out and about, mix them with each other, sit down. It's a nice little task to do. Build something. You can all be proud of something that's been built, and then off the back of it, you can all have a talk about the position, the situation, what's going on, and do something about it. I'm building an 8-foot tree in Birkenhead Park over the water. It's going to be the largest EcoBrick structure ever to be made in the UK. It's going to be opened by the Mayor, I think, on the 28th of November. I'm starting to build it next week, so if I can complete it by then. So it's going to have these bricks around a trunk in the middle. The top is going to be like wire with empty bottles threaded on. I'm going to have a cage next to it, like a little cube, with, you know, them plastic lemons that you can get, with them in. And then in the spring, I'm going to make benches. You can't make them now because the clay won't set in this temperature, so then benches will come next year. But this is just to create awareness. A lot of people know about EcoBricks already, but there's a lot of people that don't understand it and why we're doing it. So that creates a lot of awareness, and then I'll be doing smaller projects in different areas all over the northwest to get local communities involved with building smaller things that they can say they've done something. So that's the eco-bricking. I don't think there's anything I've missed out on that, but yeah, basically...
If I could just ask a really quick question. Yeah. You talk about it in some places they build houses, but isn't this inflammable?
Yeah, so in the Philippines and Indonesia, they don't have the regulations we do over here, and where they live, that might not pose so much as a risk as it would be if we built a house here, because in our houses we have obviously cookers and things like that.
The Grenfell thing.
Yeah. Well, in Indonesia and Philippines, they literally would just have a house built, and they wouldn't have the items that we have in our houses, so it wouldn't catch fire.
But these other things that you're building, the benches or whatever, they will also be inflammable.
They'll be outside.
People sit and smoke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, they're covered in clay. So so it would be like this. So the bottoms would be showing, okay, and then it would be covered in clay, so that only the bottoms would be showing. So it would be quite low risk for that to catch fire. So it would all be sealed in clay, so it wouldn't be. Some people can't mess around with it, and it wouldn't catch fire.
As I say, everybody sits in a park and smokes.
Well, I hope not anyway. But it's a good question. But yeah, over here we can't build houses and things, so it's building stuff which is kind of useful, and it creates awareness at the same time. Okay, so the bottom needs to be a set colour. I've got a Facebook group called EcoBricks Community Northwest. If you want to know more about that and how you can get involved, it's on there. So that's two things. So the third thing I wanted to tell you all about today is I'm launching a mobile phone app. So I'm going to launch it on the same day as the tree, so it's like two things together. The idea is there's lots and lots of zero waste shops and businesses popping up all over the UK. There's lots of workshops going on, lots of different things, like we've got you, Arthur, doing what you're doing that people might not know about. So it's a platform to people so they can see what the zero waste businesses are in the area. A little map, you can open it up and see what's close to you, and then there'll be an events page, and you can see what events are going on, what workshops, what beach cleans, anything relating to plastic, and then you can have a look, see what you want to attend. Also, there's a lot of people approaching me to see how I started up and asking loads of questions about suppliers and how they go about doing things. So I've spent a lot of time helping about 4 different people out in the northwest who are all, but one's hoping to open in the new year, the other 3 are opening this year, so I've helped them quite a lot get to that point. So the idea is to have a list of suppliers, so trusted suppliers that are UK based, so that they can go to and contact, and the information to get them from there to there a lot quicker, so then we all have access to plastic free shopping a lot quicker than it may be. So that'll be launched on the 28th, so I'll keep you all updated on that. And yeah, go on.
I want to say about the design principles that in the time of the Bauhaus, they were much more interested in the structure of the materials and to show how noble there are the materials by themselves, and the whole design ideas that are coming from that how different there are the materials, and the design that were always from different materials, not only from one, only from plastic, but that can be combined, and this is in fact the design.
Yeah. You're talking about the tree? What?
The Bauhaus, the Bauhaus in the 1920s, there was a movement in Germany, and after they removed in Chicago, and the all new houses and everything on the Bauhaus idea.
Yeah.
And there are, for example, furnitures from using metal, marble, glass, every materials, because not only design cannot be only one material, because every material there have different qualities and properties and characters.
Yeah. Has anyone got any questions? Can you? Okay. It's Zero Waste Collective, okay? So you can download it now, but it's half functional, be fully functional by the 28th, so you can all download it now if you wish.
When you finish the talk, can you stick it up on?
Yeah, I'll put it on there.
That'd be great, thank you.
So,
what's the address of your shop?
It's in Birkenhead Market, so I'll put my details down there. I've got a website and social media, you'll be able to find it on there. If you get stuck and can't find it because it's quite big, ring me and just tell me where you are, and I'll direct you to it. But yeah, it's open Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays and Saturdays. So I'm just not there on Tuesdays and Wednesdays because I do talks and other things in the week.
Are you just doing building here, or is there are people shipping these EcoBricks out to Indonesia? Because it seems a bit unsustainable to ship them out somewhere, doesn't it? But is there something going on about that, or?
Yeah, so all the EcoBricks made in the UK stays in the UK. We can't ship our waste over because there's so much going out of the country already. Indonesia have enough waste to be making their own EcoBricks. They have. There's a training session that I wanted to go on, but I couldn't make it, which was last week. But I'm going to go over hopefully in January to train with the people in Indonesia to see how they physically build the stuff with the clay, because the tree I'm building isn't going to be made with clay. But next year, when the weather gets better, I'll be doing stuff with that, so I want to make sure that I'm doing it properly and got all the knowledge that they're giving me. But yeah, they run training sessions to teach me, people like me, who then could teach people here, who could then teach other people to do it, so it'll spread a lot quicker. But yeah, they've got enough to be getting on with. They build loads of different things out there, but it's just getting the word around. But everything that is built in the UK stays in the UK. There's a website, so you've got ecobricks.org, and then you've got GoBricks. You can register your bricks on there, and you can keep a track of how much plastic you've saved from going to landfill or the sea. So when this tree is made, I'm logging everything. At the moment, we're up to about 8 kilograms of plastic, and I'm only halfway through all the bottles that people are giving me. So we can keep a track of what's been included in that, and that'll give us an idea of what the scale of the problem we've got in our area, in the northwest, rather than just on a whole.
Do you know how long they take to degrade outside when they're made into?
So if they were in a clay structure, they would take hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, because they're so packed tightly with the. If you think about that bottle on its own, it would take 450 years to degrade anyway. So with all that plastic inside it, inside a clay structure, it would. No one knows it would take hundreds and hundreds of years to degrade, but at least it's in one place and not floating around. And exactly, and if all this was scattered about and in the sea, it would degrade eventually, but then it's not disappearing, it's still there. We're eating it, we're drinking it, it's still going to be part of us. So at least if it's in one place, it keeps it out of the way for now until we can come up with a better solution.
How do you stop recyclables from getting captured in the EcoBricks?
So it stop people from putting recyclable plastic.
Well, I mean, the bottle there is PET, which is
It could be recycled, yeah.
There's probably HDPE, there's probably materials that can
Yeah,
genuinely be reused, but within an EcoBrick,
it's not getting reused.
yeah, just being cut down to smaller pieces,
Yeah.
it gets harder to remove it from the whole.
Yeah. Well, the idea is the people making these EcoBricks, they're kind of like, if you're really into recycling and you know all your stuff, you probably won't have as much plastic to put in an EcoBrick anyway. You're doing your bit. It's to get them people who haven't got a clue, who don't know where to start. That then people wouldn't put it in the recycling bin anyway. It would just go to landfill. So it's just to get them to put it in one, educate them and tell them, well, no, that's not going to go into an EcoBrick. That can go in your recycling bin, because people ask all the time what can and cannot go in. But it's just educating them people and then separating that bit so that then we can tell them. But if we didn't get them to do this bit, it's unlikely that even that bottle would end up in the recycling bin. It would probably just end up in an old bin, you see. So yeah.
Also, we think they're being recycled, but they're not. That's the thing, isn't it? Like, they're not recycling them, they're just shipping them to the world.
I know, but it is possible to recycle them.
It's more expensive than worth doing now. So they're not doing that.
It's not, I do it
myself.
myself.
Okay, fair enough.
We'll have to involve you on that another time, I think.
Fair enough.
Thank
Yeah,
you very
okay.
much. That's really